Here's 3 things to do with the poem. Here's number 1. This I did with my adult students, and this was, I put the quotation on the board, just as a quotation, and it was just the blackboard and the OISI, and I said, I want you to respond to this poem. There's some chalk here. Whenever you feel comfortable, come up and respond. 40-minute activity of silence. It was astounding. Because we had a whole graffiti wall starting with this particular text. Now these were adults and they were responding, but a colleague came up and she says, Larry, I did that activity with my grade 9s. Larry, we did it for 25 minutes. They were quiet. And they responded, and that's another way to do a community way, and you can respond or not by coming to the blackboard. The second thing you can do with it, of course, and here, we describe this activity in the book actually, and I had the kids experience this. And could you just choose the blue side of the paper, okay? And this will segue into Debbie's next event with you. Number 2 is, I would like you to be the mother or the father, because it could be father, what was war. Write 1 sentence that this parent will answer the child. The child says, mother, what was war? Give us 1 sentence that answers that question. Go. And we're just going to hear some of these responses out loud, if you don't mind sharing it. Marjorie?
War was senseless destruction.
Karen?
War was lack of communication.
Dale?
War was greed.
A disagreement that involved making people hurting and killing other people. Disagree with that.
Adriana?
War was a time when people knew no peace.
Chris?
It allowed for the freedom we have today.
And Leslie?
War is what happens if you're selfish rather than selfless.
Okay.
This is what I remember.
War was about power and resources.
Disagreements trying to be solved through acts of violence.
War is greed.
Okay, so have those kids read those lines, put on a white t-shirt and some music, and you got your Remembrance Day assembly. I'm always practical here, guys. But the literacy teacher in me, here's how to teach kids. You have to teach the kids how to do this. Can I just have yours, Leslie, again?
War is what happens if you are selfish rather than selfless.
War is what happens.
If you are selfish rather than selfless.
Okay, I'm choosing hers not because it's the best, but it was very good. Selfish rather than, or selfish, what comes after selfish?
Rather than selfless.
Okay. Okay, so there's the statement. I know you can't read the writing, but I want to demonstrate how you move this into instant poetry with kids. Because what I would like the students to do next, and you have to demonstrate this. By the way, I'm auctioning this off. People can have... Mark's not the only one. People would pay hundreds for that. But what I want you to do is look what Eve Miriam did, and I want you to do a free verse poem. War is what happens if you are, and my junior kids love doing, you know, they like playing around with the words, selfish rather than self. And that's called free verse poetry, all kidding aside. And I joked with my student teachers, and then you give them this beautiful blue paper and say, look what Mr. Swartz bought for you, very expensive paper. Because if you want beauty from kids, you got to get beauty as well. This is what they're working towards. They might go to technology and print it out, but that's how you write a free verse poem. And you have to take them, because what you've done likely today was write it in prose, and to make it free verse poem, you just show them how Eve Miriam did, 1 word, 2 words, 3 words, and some kids start using shapes as well. So way number 1 was the community response. Way number 2 was to have the kids respond in role, because when you put pen to paper, you are the parent, either the mother or the father or a relative. And way number 3 is my friend Debbie introducing you to the next technique. Debbie.
Okay, so Larry talked about using sources in drama, and another source that is really effective to work with kids is a photograph. So in your package there is a photograph. I think it's on the last page. It's a very famous photograph. Some people might recognize it. If you do know it and know the story behind it, maybe you can just suspend that for a few moments. And really, we're just going to look at a couple of strategies that you could, some drama strategies that you could use to begin to scaffold and deepen their understanding. So, and the other thing as a teacher is that all of these sources that we can investigate are inside the book, which as a teacher, I spent so much time searching for sources and asking people, and it was pre-Google days, and what was I going, how would I find all these things? So both Larry and I felt it was really important to have those sources in there, although that was sometimes a battle, and sometimes a battle was okay. But anyway, so the point I'm making is that the sources are there so you don't have to go around looking, but kids can further investigate some of the sources later. All right, so this is a photograph, another way to begin exploring what was war, what is war. So if you'll just look closely at the photograph for a few seconds. It's in your package. Oh, you don't want to get, no, take this one. And then just turn to a partner at the table and share with them 5 details that you see in the picture that will shed some light on the context. So what are some details in that picture that will help us to figure out where, when, who's important in the picture, so that we could begin to build that story? So just share with a partner, what do you see? What are some details that will inform you? You know what Larry said, we are really rushing. We're trying to get to this very brilliant drama moment in like 30 seconds. So with the kids, we could record all of those details, right? What do you see? So we're just really at the what do you see part of understanding it. So just a couple of people, what do you see that tells us something about this story? Anybody want to share something they saw that gives us some information?
Cars.
Okay, so the cars, what do those cars tell us?
Well, it's certainly back in time. Probably the 40s.
Okay, anything, yes?
The faces on the soldiers, their confidence and what afterwards goes back.
Okay, great. So you see in their faces that they're actually moving forward with some confidence, some excitement. Yes?
Very white bread.
So you see that all these people in the picture are white, so that might tell us something about where we are and the time period of where we are. It might be very different if we went to that place and took that picture again. Anything else that you see that?
There's just so many of them. Like, they just keep going and going.
Okay, great. So many soldiers, and that's just, the photograph just captures that one little part, but that line goes on and on. One more detail that you noticed, yes?
They're all just carrying guns.
Okay. There's no other stuff, no backpacks, they just have weapons right now? All right, all right. And one other detail, something else you noticed, something else you see that,
Some little boys all dressed up, so it's sort of regarded as a celebration.
okay. So he's dressed up. Maybe this was something special, signifying that morning his mother maybe got him dressed up in some special outfit because this was going to be a very special day. Yes?
I just noticed too that it's kind of like the three of them make like a bridge as to like where they're going and where they've been, but none of them are actually making contact. So it's like that little boy is kind of the bridge between what's about to happen and what's, like who's being left behind, but they're not actually
Connected.
They're all reaching out as far and as hard as they can, but nobody's touching.
Nobody is touching, nobody is connected. Okay, that's great. So what I want you to think about now is, if I said to you, you can be somewhere in that picture. You can be anywhere that you want for one moment. I'm going to give you the opportunity to go into that picture. So I want you just using your finger to show your group where you would like to be. where would you like to be listening in, looking up more closely, maybe being able to ask a question, maybe being able to give some advice? Where would you like to be in that picture? And just put your finger in that place and go around the circle and tell the group why you chose that spot. Where do you want to be? Tell a partner where you want to be. Where do you want to be? You want to be beside him?
I want to be, yeah. Where he
And
is.
why do you want to be beside him?
Because I'm not going off to work, and I don't have a husband going off to work.
Okay, so
And I may not understand all of what's going on.
okay.
Innocent.